Hey, how you all doing today? And yeah, I'm back with a movie review. And the reason why I'm talking the way I am is because I've I've just watched a movie that made me I have no words for this movie at all. There will be a lot of hesitation in this video because I have not a single clue what I just watched. Um, it's a mixture between weird, disturbing, odd. I literally have no idea what I've just seen, and it's going to be hard for me to rate a movie that should be probably easy anyway. But I don't know. The movie is called Good Boy, and this movie is just ridiculous. I don't know how to describe it. Right? I don't know. I mean, it's a short movie. It's an hour and 16, but it finishes at an hour and 13, so it's pretty short. Thank God for that, because boy, that movie looked weird as hell. I have no idea how to describe it, right? And it's about this Christian. His name is Christian. This guy's name is Christian. He's a millionaire at the end of it. So, and he goes on a date with this woman called Sigrid. Something. The movie is in Norwegian, by the way, so I had to put it onto English subtitles. And yeah, I know you're gonna say, oh, you don't watch these type of movies in a different language. Yeah, but this one here, I had to watch it because it's what it's about. So I had to give it a watch because I had to find something to entertain myself. And I probably will be doing another. I probably will be watching another movie later. So just give it a bit of a bonus. And I'm home alone too until tomorrow. So yeah, I would say a bonus video, but I could do another video. I could do it. This time it's gonna be it has to be a better movie next. If it isn't, I'll be very disappointed. So yes, what was I? So yeah, Christian goes on a date with Sigrid. He met over a dating app. Excuse me. And talks to her and asks her to go and stuff like that. And yeah, she asks, she asks her dogs, because I think she asked any dogs. So yeah, it's sort of sad because he sort of said, "Oh, I do have a dog," and she said, "Oh, what breed?" And it's hard to make sense of what I'm trying to say here. He said, it's hard to explain. That's where the weirdness comes in, because his dog is his dog name is Frank, but it's not your usual dog. It's someone dressed up as a dog. Yeah, that's where it kind of gets weird. If you really want to give this a watch, it's up to you. Then come back to me, because yeah, this movie is odd. I know not through this, and I was like, where's the horror element to it? It's really weird. There seems to be nothing scary about this at all. I mean, you got a guy that's into puppy play, which is what it is, and he said that Frank doesn't have any, he never had any friends, so he decided to become a dog, and yeah, because he felt lonely and he's happy with that, and it felt really weird. And also you may wonder where the horror element comes into it. It comes into it in the last 20-25 minutes of the movie, and they get into this not like a trip, not caravan. What is it? I forgot what the place you call it. It's like in the middle of nowhere, basically next to a barn, right? And the dialogue is strange, stupid, man. I had to read the subtitles, and I could read quite quickly straight away. I could just do that and then watch the movie at the same time, watch what's happening. Because there's one part of it where Sigrid says to him, "Oh, does Frank have any, sex?" It's strange. And then he said, "No, he doesn't think so." And she was, I don't know if she was joking about this, but she was kind of volunteering. I know Frank is a dog, right? I mean, I know Frank's a human dressed up as a dog. But but it's still a dude. I mean, just the visualization at the end of it is a bit strange. I don't know if they're doing some sort of free something. I have no idea what was coming to it. Don't worry, there's no scene like that in this movie. Don't worry. So she, his volunteers. I don't know if she said that, but he was like, "I'm happy if he does it behind my back." I don't know, right? Also, bear that in mind. Sigrid's friend was suggesting, I think it's her friend, was suggesting for her to continue dating this dude because he's a millionaire. I can see where she's coming from, not having to do that stuff, not having to, you have to work or study. I would personally still work if I was a millionaire also, but you know what I mean. I would want to work. But if I'm dating somebody and I see somebody dressed up in a dog's outfit, act like a dog for real, I would leave. And and the guy is dodgy, right? When I was watching it, yeah, he did look kind of dodgy, and the movie has a predictable ending. That even I think, especially the way I predicted it, so I knew what was going to happen. And as I keep talking, the dog, like jumps on her because, and he took her, Christian took her phone, and just say have a phone free weekend or something like that. And as he leaves the room in one scene, Frank jumps up on the edge of the sofa and says, "You gotta get me out of here. The dude's insane. Please help me." I was like, not the type of scenario I expected. I thought it was the dogs would remain. I was wondering who the dog actually was. I think the person's name is actually Frank, because he didn't quite change up who his name was. So I assume his name is Frank. And that's when it turns into a bit of a horror element. Oh, so there's a bit of noise in the background there from outside. Sorry about that. That's where the horror element comes into it, because that's when it gets a bit creepy. And this movie's disturbing, but not in a normal horror type of way, if you get me. It's like a weird type of disturbing. And then she wants to walk Frank because she wants to talk to him normally. Even though Christian said to her, "Look, you can't talk to him normally. You got to talk to him like a dog." I don't understand this stuff. Why did I put myself through this? I knew what the movie was going to be like. I didn't know it was going to be like this, right? She takes Frank out and she's asking, "Oh, what should we do about Christian? What's going on?" He said, "Oh, I don't know. You got to find a way out of this, man." And she was just saying, "Should we run?" And he's like, "No, I'd rather die than get caught escaping from him." And he suggested for her to try and kill him in his sleep. So then, she goes and grabs a knife and hides that under the pillow. And then Christian sort of, gets angry. So you think, oh damn, he knows about the knife, and she's gonna scared and panicky. And he was like, "What is going on? Look at this bed. I brought you here." And yelling at her, but then he says, "Oh, it's a bit creased," or something like that. And he says, "I'm just don't worry, dinner ready in 15 minutes. Okay. That is a bit weird. Why would he do something? I don't know. I got literally. This is one of the most cringe-worthy movies I've ever had to watch. I was like this. I was like, "Oh God, what is going on?" Who wrote this? I don't know. I feel sorry for the people that acted in this movie. It's easy for me to explain, thank God. And he jogs her basically, and then she wakes up, and he was like, tells her what he's found out, and he actually recorded her and Frank having a talk. Yeah, which I expected. And he takes her to like another room, and Frank is in a cage or suffering, and he said, "You betrayed me, you worthless piece of whatever. You betrayed me." And Frank bites his arm, and then she proceeds to grab a key, runs out, and then begs for help. And yeah, you could just tell. I mean, she hears like Frank getting dragged by the by the neck, but Christian's got like a collar, a string. I don't know what it was that's attached to the collar, but he drags Frank to the barn, and he says, "You betrayed me, yourself. How can you do this? Why?" And then he tries to suffocate him in with a bag, but it didn't work. And yeah, and I just know Sigrid was going to go in there after him. I just knew it. Like, she could just continue, but she could have got her phone, but didn't. She could have got a knife and attacked him, but didn't. It would have been better off, to be fair, if that was the case. But she wanted to go back to save him, and she gets like a piece of wood and whacks him over the head with it. He didn't die from that. He still got up. And he gets a baseball bat and whacks over the head of it. She goes unconscious. I was like, oh, everyone dies in this movie? Okay. It then cuts to him making food. I don't understand it. I don't understand. It didn't say how many days or weeks or months that went by. Get something like that. And then, just as I predicted, he puts food for Frank. And he also puts food for Sigrid. And Sigrid is now a dog. as I predicted, I knew it was going to happen. You know, these type of films are predictable. Like, the culprit always makes the victims do something a certain way that he wants them to do it, like those type of typical endings. And yeah, in that such a way, and which I expected, but I was like, I thought she died from that. Maybe her mind was a bit messed up, I don't know. And he walks out and he gives food to somebody else. I was like, is it Sigrid's friend or whoever it was that he's got hold of him? He can't be, because he says he's met her. So what? Who is it? And there's a baby that wasn't dressed up like Sigrid and Frank was, but in the baby sleep suit. Like, what? Yeah, this dude's not right in the head. Where'd the baby come from? And then it just hit me that there was a scene of Sigrid vomiting, and maybe she was actually pregnant by him. But we didn't really see much scenes of that though, so it's quite hard to explain. Yeah, so it ends at that basically. And as I've got to say here, I know this is going to sound a bit off topic, this movie perfectly depicts, because I watch movies from like a different point of view, like it's an adaptation of how the world is and how the situation like this actually happened. There are people that have, you know, dressed up as like dogs and cats and stuff like that. It happens in this world, and this is what happens, and it perfectly portrays someone's mentality. But you know, with Frank was more normal than Christian, and Christian forced him to be. So it's kind of like, it's almost like a fetish thing, where it's a weird fetish. I don't even know what genre I put this movie in. The last part looked like horror. There should be a section in these sites called fetish. Not joking, because it is a fetish thing. And there was something alright about this dude to make someone dress up as a dog and act like a dog the entire time. It's hard to do it if it's like a skit or something funny. It felt quite disturbing a little bit to me, especially going to the guy's mental state. He was not right in the head, and yeah, I don't know what to say about that. He wasn't right in the head at all. So yeah, it perfectly depicts how society is in terms of like, you know, in the midst of having to do fetishes like that, and you know, you got Sigrid's friend telling her, oh, it's not doing harm to anybody. That did harm to Sigrid, because you know, if she, you know, even if she never found out, he would have still turned into a dog. He would have probably still drugged her and probably made her, you know, made her his dog or whatever. I don't know, man. This movie, oh man, I had to watch it, and part of me, this guy did for a video, so I could talk my feelings on it. But part of me is like, I wasted over an hour there watching that. The acting though, the acting was really good for a movie that ridiculous and that weird and strange. I've seen some of these strange movies, or weird movies, but none of them had good acting. Not many of them had good acting. The acting in this movie, especially from Sigrid, was brilliant. I got to give up to the people that acted in this movie, because only 3 of them, well 4 if you count Sigrid's friend, but majority of the time it was actually Sigrid that was acting. It was only female acting a lot more in the movie. I probably would be embarrassed acting something like that, especially if I was being the Frank character. But you know what? I got to admire the acting in it. It's great. You know, great sequence of acting right there in each scene. I've got to say, it's brilliant. For a movie like that, so you know, I've got to give it to her for the acting. That's just up the rating a bit, because Sigrid needs to do acting here and in America. She needs to do more movies. I want to know who she is, and I want to watch more of her movies, because I think she's a great actress. From what I gathered, acted perfectly. She didn't over exaggerate anything. Same with Christian. He acted like this sort of dodgy, dangerous dude. You know. Yeah, I gotta say the acting was great. No, nothing negative to say about the acting, but the storyline was a bit weird. I might be a tiny bit generous, because the acting was good, and the acting's only thing that probably made me a little bit hooked. But it's just a weird movie. I don't know what I was gonna rate it. I'm gonna rate it. God, it's a movie, man. I swear. I'm gonna rate it a 3 out of 10. I think it deserves that, considering the acting was good, I can understand why they made a concept like that, because it is pretty horrific to do something like that. It is pretty horrific to, especially mentality wise, to do something like that. So you know what, I admire that. If I miss, whoever's seen the movie before might tell me something different, might have a different perspective of it, and might say, oh, I don't know if you noticed this, I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, so yeah, 3 out of 10 it is. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like, comment, share everyone, subscribe and hit the notification below, as I see you in my next video.